So what is design thinking? You might know there are different kinds of thinking. The engineer way, the business way, the design way. Design thinking is a process of innovation, which focuses on building an idea from observation. The concept changed through times. Different models of design thinking exist, with different names for each phase and different duration. They honestly all express the same thing. First, you observe the potential users. Then you define a problem, you find solutions. You create a prototype that you test with the users, you collect feedback from them, and you analyze those feedbacks. But let's add some precision to each phase.
First of all, you have to start by observing people. An observation human-centered. Observe their behaviors and habits. It's a phase of passive observation, without intervention of your part. You must not pass this step because it's the one that will determine everything. You have to understand the environment, the questioning, and the concern of the population to know what they want and what to create for them to really embrace their needs. You have to connect physically with the population to know what's going on in their mind and in their life. As design thinker, we are trying to solve problems and we should understand what is important for them.
After you understood how the population thinks, behave, you can understand what they want, what they need. If you go to someone and directly ask, "What do you want?" they will give you an incomplete answer. They might not even know what they really want. However, by observing, talking to them, you can understand better what they desire.
After having evaluated and understood their desires, it's time for you to choose the one that is the most important to you, the one who deserves your attention and who will serve as a base for study. The biggest desire of the population adapted to you and to the good cause. The first step is to define the needs, but another difficulty is to select our good skills to create the good solution. The right solution will be the one that we are able to create, that responds to one need and will mobilize people to work on the project. You should, after collecting all the information, find the skills you will use to make their work better.
When you did all the work of observing, understanding, and selecting the needs of your users, the next step is to define a problem, a challenge. Why can his desire not be fulfilled? It will bring you clarity. If you define the problem properly, being very specific, it will then be easier to imagine solutions. Having a problem being too wide leads towards having solutions being too wide.
The time has come to brainstorm. It's time for you to gather your team and that everyone propose their ideas. You can use different methods like post-its and share with your team. Brainstorming is essential to structure your mind. Then you can confront all of the ideas and choose the most interesting for you.
You must expose your idea to become different point of view. Some of your collaborators will find the idea exceptional, while others not, but some of them will definitely find some improvements to make, and it's interesting because thanks to that you will be able to create something even more efficient.
Your team agreed on the ideas they think are the best, the more viable. Take them all. You don't want to have just one idea even though you think it is the best one. If you keep 2 or 3 of your best ideas, you still have room for innovation. But if you keep one single idea, even though you think it is the best one, people might not all agree on it. You are more limited.
After choosing his ideas, it's time to make a prototype, to create something. The prototype is the thing to prove the utility of the concept and show the benefits for potential investors. It can be modified in order to acquire the final and perfect product for the customers.
Prototype is another vision of your idea. The prototype will be easy, quick, and cheap to create. During the building, you have to keep the user in mind, and lately, this prototype will help the user to use the idea. It's the step that gets you closer to the best solution.
Always keep the user's desire in mind when you prototype. Even though you have a lot of ideas, you need to stay focused on the initial problem. Sometimes, the first idea and the final product are very different, and we always want a cohesion with the first need of the users.
To develop the utility of your prototype, you have to create an environment suitable for the customers. You wonder why you need to create an environment, so that the customers feels in good condition to give his opinion without external influences. For example, a white room without any parasites. The opinion of a client is essential for a company, so it can collate opinions that will determine the evolution of the company. To achieve these missions, the customers and the tester must give an honest and real opinion that truly represents their thinking.
As design thinking is based on the people and the population we are creating the product for, in the process of creation we have to collate their point of view. You should create the best environment as possible for the review to be as honest as possible, because it's more or less the last step in which you can change things.
So there you are, you can see the finish line. You went through all the different phases of design thinking and you now have a prototype that has been successfully tested. Don't stop now. The most important part of design thinking is always challenging yourself to be even more innovative. So start all the process over and see if you can create something even better.
After being assured that our solution is the one that suits to our user, you can create the product or service and you know that it will be a success because the user itself kind of created it with you. This is for business, but you can apply all these rules to our lives.
To conclude, we hope this PECHA KUCHA has helped you better understand the design thinking and the vision that we have. We try to find the best pictures to illustrate our thinking, but we still have much to learn about this process and look forward to Nikki Papadopoulos' classes.